Hello, welcome to Nina's Knots Crochet. I'm Lynanne. If you're new here, hey, thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel. My channel, it's all about crochet. A little bit about knitting, a lot about yarn, but mostly about my journey in this fantastic yarny community. Returning subscribers, thanks so much for coming back, spending a little bit of your Saturday with me. I'm only doing this video because it is OTCS, hashtag OTCS, National Crochet Month Challenge, from Ola Joe. So here we go. This is March, which is National Crochet Month, and Ola Joe put out this little challenge to the YouTube streets, and I took it up. It's simple, it's silly, and it's a fun thing to do. Today, which is day number 9, how I learned to crochet my crochet story. Perfect for a Saturday, right? Just a little bit of chit chat. We were always a crafty household. We didn't watch a lot of TV. I mean, I don't even remember watching TV until I was in middle school. Saturday morning cartoons were not a thing in our house. We just didn't do it. And that's okay. I don't think I missed anything. I caught up on the cartoons and figured it all out as I got older. We read a lot. We spent a lot of time at the library. We did a lot of things outside. I was lucky enough that I grew up in a small town where the park with all the playground equipment was right across the street from my house. So I had tennis courts and basketball courts and playground equipment right there anytime I wanted it. So, and you know, this was back in the 70s when, you know, you could let your kids out the door and you could let them go play in the park until it got dark. I wouldn't do that now. Anyway, my mom was always a crafty person, and I remember her knitting, and I don't ever remember her crocheting, but I do have vivid memories of her knitting. And she did teach me to knit, and this is when I was, you know, 7, 8, 9 years old. And I remember I retained the basics. I could cast on and I could do the knit stitch. Crochet, I'll be super honest with you, I don't know when I picked it up, but I remember grabbing a hook. We would get our craft supplies from the Ben Franklin, the 5 and Dime downtown. We would walk down there on Saturdays with our allowance, and we would hit the penny candy and then whatever else we wanted. And usually for me, it was the craft aisle. So a lot of paint by numbers. I can just smell those paints to this day. Anyway, squirrel. So I remember picking up a crochet hook, and then I remember we did something for it in Girl Scouts. It was like one of the badges I needed to get was to learn to do something with yarn. So that was one of the badges that I earned, was learning to crochet. And then you hit those middle school and high school years, and I kind of just, it went away. Here comes the 80s, and I'm a young mother. And yarn was cheap, and I wanted to get my dad something for Christmas, but I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I thought, I'll make him a blanket. So I went to Walmart, I got myself a hook, I grabbed a bunch of off-white yarn, and I'm sure it was Red Heart, I don't even remember what it was, and I crocheted a blanket for him. And I worked on that thing day and night for about 2 weeks. And my mother has that blanket to this day. It's on the back of her couch. I knew nothing. I sit here now thinking about doing that blanket, and I know I did it in half double crochet. I know sometimes it was the extended half double crochet. I know sometimes it was a single crochet. I had no clue what I was doing. I just did whatever felt right. And there was no books, no nothing. I just picked up the hook and I started doing it. Then, as a mother of 3 very active teenagers, it got put to the side again. You know, the kids were in sports and in show choir, and, you know, they had jobs, and busy kids, busy life. I didn't have time for crafting. So fast forward to 2020. We all know what happened in 2020, the dang P word and the C word. And I am in Florida, where we had just bought this house. And a really good friend of ours had sent us a housewarming gift of a blanket that she made from crochet. And I looked at it and I went, I remember how to do this. I can do this. So this is before I knew anything about Hirschner's or Mary Maxim or Premier or any of the places where you can order online. And for us to drive into Ocala, you know, we were barely here, and it was the height of the P word. This was October of 2020. I ordered some blanket yarn and a hook on Amazon and made Tom a blanket. I still have that blanket. I'll drag it out one of these days and let you look at it. It used to be my backdrop when I first started my videos. And I started watching YouTube, and I started watching people like Crystal at Bag O' Day. I watched Jada from Jada and Stitches. I found Jennifer at Cinnamon Stitches, and I found Robin at Hooked on Robin, and I watched their videos and just ravished them, trying to learn new stitches, trying to learn new things. My crochet at the beginning was all blankets, and at the very beginning, oh, and Mikey at the Crochet Crowd was another one. I couldn't do a blanket that was back and forth rows because I couldn't keep my ends straight. So every blanket I did was a start from the center and work its way out. It's the only way I could make a blanket that had straight edges. Couldn't read a pattern worth a darn. So everything I did was on videos. I did my first crochet along with Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. I think it was the study of ombre. Maybe. I don't know. I've done 2 of the Crochet Crowd blankets. And then I started finding more and more videos out there on YouTube from different crocheters and different techniques and different ideas. And I soaked it all up. Everything I could get my eyes on, I was watching. Then about 2 years ago, Jada did a crochet along doing the Tunisian crochet. And boy, was I hooked. Because you know me, I am all about Tunisian. I'm doing Tunisian right now. I love this pattern. I love the stitch. I love everything about Tunisian crochet. After that, then I found Tony Lipsy from TL Yarn Crafts and followed some of hers. So my journey has been a little bit choppy until 2020. And then in 2021, after watching so many channels, I'm like, I can do this. Not that I wanted to become a YouTube star, but I wanted to share my love of crochet and find some like-minded people who wanted to talk about crochet. So that's why I started my channel. So my crochet journey, my crochet story was a little bit choppy at the beginning, but now it is a huge part of my life. I never dreamed I'd be one with bookcases and buckets and foot lockers full of yarn. Yet here I am. And I saw, I think it was Judy at Judy's Creations and Crochet. She was doing her hashtag. And she mentioned that crochet is one of those activities that helps keep your mind sharp. It's a way to hold off old age. you're thinking, you're doing, you're constantly keeping your mind active, I'm all for that too. So that is a little synopsis of my crochet journey. If I remember one day this month, I'll pull out that very first blanket I ever made for Tom and show you again. I know I've showed it before, but you'll see just exactly how far I've come from making this really ridiculous thick blanket yarn blanket that has holes in it and drop stitches and not straight edges, to be able to do something as beautiful as this with fingering weight yarn and Tunisian crochet. So that, you guys, is my Saturday episode of hashtag OTCS National Crochet Month. I hope you enjoyed my little rambling story this Saturday. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care of yourself, give yourself some grace, but above all, be kind to everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.